See, I do not want to glorify the response of the government in power and the so-called opposition, PDP, because these political parties are themselves viruses, that are destroying the health of our country, both physically, economically, and politically, socially, culturally. So it's the pandemic that I'm talking about. So let's discuss about the revolutionary process that can take these guys out, that can inoculate our political system from their way of thinking. Because at the end of the day, the person holding the broom also has an umbrella that's keeping on the house. So when the broom is not working, it goes for the umbrella. So you're dealing with the same set of people. No difference. So I don't glorify their responses with any modicum of interest or attention. So I'm sorry if that I don't even pay attention to what PDP is saying or what APC is saying. These guys are just jokers. As soon as their loved ones are killed or they become injured or disabled. So again, it comes back to security. So you have soldiers who are either timid, the ones that are not timid are not motivated enough to fight. And that is why small countries like Chad for that matter, is able to deal decisive blows on Boko Haram, whereas Nigerian soldiers are clapping for them when they are entering Nigerian territory. So again, I would say most importantly, it borders on leadership. As I always said, after every pandemic is over, there's a pandemic that doesn't go away, and that is that of leadership. If you have bad leaders, it's the worst pandemic that can happen to any country. It's the worst epidemic that can happen to human beings. Terrible leadership, incompetent leadership, wicked leadership, corrupt leadership. And that is afflicting Nigeria. So after COVID-19 is gone, COVID-19 is gone, COVID 1.9 leaves the shores, we still have a pandemic that is not going to go away. It doesn't have any season. It doesn't have, time. It doesn't have a deadline.
So guys, it's always interesting when this guy speaks, and he speaks the truth. But unfortunately, a lot of people are not really aligning with what he's been saying. Everybody wants to say something. Everybody is not ready to come together as a group, as a body, as a people, so that we'll have a united voice, so that we'll be able to get what we want at the end of the day. Of course, just like he said, this pandemic will definitely go. But we've been having pandemic of leadership in this country, and we are still living with that, and it's still going to continue after this COVID-19 must have gone. And we don't really talk much about them. People who talk much about them, a lot of people are like, oh, going against you. A lot of people are telling you that you are seeking for an attention, and yet they cannot provide solution to all that have been happening. Because from one government to another, from one government to another, and according to what he said, everybody knows that PDP, APC, forget they are the same. They are the same, depending on where they want to be at that particular time. And that is why you can see that they can flow together. You will hear them saying, oh, it is a permanent interest that matters, irrespective of what they must have said concerning each other before now. It's inconsequential, but in as much we are going to be doing their bidding, and it's all about numbers. It's all about numbers for them. In as much they will have people that will be on the same page, will be doing the wrong thing against the people. They are good to go. And they are the worst pandemic we can ever think of. We talked about this pandemic that is taking people's lives, but the ones that has been taking the lives of people day in, day out, these politicians. But one thing about all this is that when the government of the day is defaulting or doing some things that are not what the masses want, the ones who are on the waiting list, who call themselves opposition, they will be using that to deceive the people of the country that we are going to do better, we are going to do this, we are going to make or do things differently. And people will still fall in for all of those lies. But as soon as they come in, it's a different ballgame entirely. They will even do worse. They will even do worse. Even Sowore that is talking, and we hope that if opportunity comes, if opportunity presents itself, if he's still going to stand and maintain what he has been saying. Because some of these people who are in government now, a lot of them have cried, who are in the government today. A lot of them have cried to say what Nigerian has been experiencing was a sorry state, and they will cry that Nigeria has been deteriorating, Nigeria has deteriorated. How I wish they can get into the power, they will change the narratives. But we are all witnesses to what has been happening now. Those who cried for Nigeria, but now see what has been happening to the Nigerian people. They cannot cry. They don't even feel anything. They don't feel any sympathy. And that is why people who are speaking the truth, one thing is that the truth must be told, irrespective of whose us is God, irrespective of who is saying it. But the most important thing is that we'll take the message and leave the messenger, because the reason why Nigerians don't even trust people again these days is that people who, because of the past experiences, people who have been saying good things about how the country should go, the way the country should go, at the end of the day, once they come in, you see them relaxing, you see them dragging their feet, you see them doing worse things than what they have been complaining about. So just like I said, this guy is always speaking, an interesting thing, and he says the truth. And that is what we really need even to take. It's not even about a person or this kind of person or the way he does things. But the truth of the whole matter is that if this truth can really get into the Nigerian people, it will be a good thing. But at the end of the day, a lot of people downplay many things. They were like, oh, this one is looking for attention, this and this and that. And yet, you are not looking for attention, what solutions have you provided for us to move forward? Everybody is playing game of sentiment, tribalism here and there. Oh, somebody does one thing that is not right. They will say, no, don't speak about the person. Okay, what about this person? They will be pointing at another person. The reason why you should not talk about the one that is into wrongdoings at that particular time. They will tell you, what about this? But people say, no, let us talk about what is on ground. They will start digressing. And that is why we are not anywhere as we speak. We need to solve our problem according to what we experience, according to our own feelings, and according to what we go through on a daily basis. We know that corruption. We know that abnormalities are going on all over the country, all over the world. But each country, each region deal with all of those things according to the way they know it to be best for them. And like I said, APC, PDP, they are the same. They are just the same. And the style of leadership in this country is, the pandemic is pandemic on its own. Just like he said, it's pandemic on its own. But another problem is the masses themselves, they are not ready. He has been speaking and saying a lot of things. He said he's not even perturbed about what PDP will say. Oh, APC is doing it wrong. APC is doing it right. Whatever. The same thing APC was saying when PDP was in power. But as soon as APC came on board, majority of the PD people, they aligned with them. And they were so happy. They love it that way. The ones who cannot even join them, they just believe that, okay, let's just stay here. We might see coming again. By the time we come in, we'll take over from where we stopped. Of course, PDP came out to apologize to Nigerians, but I don't know whether that apology sank well in the minds of the people. But even the people themselves, too, they are another set of people that even that are not even ready or do not even have pity on themselves. That how do we move forward? Because the way it is now, the suffering is permanent, it's perpetual until something drastic will happen. Because you cannot say maybe until the suffering gets to a particular stage, because that's what I used to say, that the suffering will get to a particular stage before people will do things. No, because the suffering does not go around at the same time. It does not affect everybody at the same time. And that's why you continue to see some people at the edge of, trying to defend. While the ones who are suffering will still be there. They will like, oh, we want to leave this place. And the ones that are suffering, maybe another regime will come. They will, they will bounce back. And the ones who have been enjoying, they will start complaining. It's just like a cycle that we're just moving around, that we don't even know where it's going to end. Where it's going to end. So guys, that is just my opinion concerning what Sowore has said in that video that we just watched. Like he said, I don't glorify their responses with any modicum of interest or attention. I don't pay attention to what PDP is saying or what APC is saying. The guys are just jokers. As soon as their loved ones are affected, they become injured. I will say most importantly that it borders on leadership. After every pandemic is over, yes, there is a pandemic that doesn't go away. And what is of leadership, and that is a leadership. Having bad leaders is the worst pandemic that could happen to any country. It is the worst pandemic that can happen to human beings. Terrible leadership, incompetence, incompetent leadership, wicked leadership, and that is afflicting Nigeria. So the COVID-19 will definitely go. It will definitely go, but the uh the pandemic we have as a result of a bad leadership, that will still continue. That will still continue, and that is the fact. That is the fact. And one thing is that we are now used to that. People are not used to that. Like I said, when you talk about suffering, some people will be, it will not affect, or it will not go around or affect people at the same time, because some people will be on the table eating, observing that table manner, they won't say anything. But as soon as the food is taken away from them, they leave that table, another set will come in. It's just like a transferring, ball from persons to persons, and that is how it has always been. So guys, let us hear your opinion. Leave your comments below, and let's have your take on what Shore has said.